In a pivotal moment for American democracy, today stands as a monumental crossroads where one judge, Juan Merchan, holds a unique power that could reshape the future of Donald Trump and potentially that of the United States. The decision looming today involves whether Judge Merchan will affirm the recent felony convictions against Trump or overturn them, offering the former president a chance to regain momentum without the burden of legal repercussions. As Trump's team attempts to secure a pathway free of convictions to bolster his ongoing 2024 campaign, Judge Merchan is tasked with a decision that legal experts and political pundits are watching intently. With these criminal convictions resting in the state of New York, far from the reach of any presidential pardon, a potential prison sentence would mean an unprecedented scenario in American history, a presidential candidate campaigning or even serving from behind bars. The options on the table are varied and carry different levels of consequence for Trump and his bid for a political comeback. And while some might dismiss the possibility of a prison sentence as unlikely, the legal framework exists, and Judge Merchan has the authority to enforce it. Today, we'll explore this critical decision, analyzing the possible outcomes and their profound implications for Trump, his supporters, and American democracy as a whole. Could Judge Merchan indeed send Trump behind bars, or will he opt for a less dramatic resolution? Let's break down the factors at play in this historic moment. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to reaching 5,000 subscribers, but we can't do it without you. So, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe right now. And if you're already subscribed, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment to let me know your thoughts. Alright, let's dive right into it. The legal precedent and unique context of the case. Donald Trump's legal woes have been mounting, culminating in a series of felony convictions in New York, primarily connected to financial improprieties and misconduct. However, what truly sets this apart is the fact that these state-level convictions stand outside the reach of presidential pardon powers. Should Trump return to the White House, he could theoretically pardon himself for any federal charges he faces, such as those tied to the January 6th insurrection or the mishandling of classified documents. But state charges are immune to such interventions. Judge Juan Merchan is now at the center of this legal drama. His role in the New York case is critical. He has the legal leverage to either uphold the convictions, delay sentencing, or clear the slate entirely by nullifying the convictions. Legal experts emphasize that Merchan's choices are unprecedented but technically feasible, creating a rare window where judicial authority and national political destiny intersect in ways the United States has seldom, if ever, witnessed. Option 1. Dismissal of convictions, a free path for Trump. One possible outcome is that Judge Merchan might choose to set aside all or some of Trump's convictions. If he does, Trump would effectively be released from the weight of these charges, allowing him to re-enter the public sphere without the stigma of criminal guilt hanging over his campaign. This scenario, while within Merchan's authority, would undoubtedly provoke widespread controversy. Critics argue that such a decision would not only embolden Trump, but also signal to political figures that criminal actions carry few lasting consequences. Merchan, however, must weigh this decision against public backlash and the historical legacy it would create. The possibility of a judge allowing a convicted former president to avoid penalties might erode public trust in the judiciary and send a troubling message about accountability for those in positions of power. Option 2. Upholding convictions with a deferred or delayed sentence. Alternatively, Merchan could maintain Trump's convictions but choose to issue a delayed sentence. In this scenario, Trump would retain the status of a convicted felon but would not immediately serve a prison term. Merchan could establish a timeline that delays the sentence until the conclusion of Trump's potential second term in office. This solution would strike a middle ground, allowing Merchan to maintain the legal precedent of accountability while avoiding the logistical challenges of incarcerating a presidential candidate. Legal analysts suggest that this choice could be a strategic move for Merchan, preserving his impartiality and shielding the judiciary from accusations of overreach or partisanship. However, this path would still mark a severe public rebuke of Trump's conduct, likely diminishing his appeal among undecided voters and complicating his campaign strategy. Even without immediate incarceration, the lasting impact of a criminal conviction could cast a long shadow over Trump's aspirations. Option 3. Immediate sentencing, an unprecedented scenario. The boldest option before Judge Merchan is to proceed with an immediate sentence. This decision would place Trump directly into the penal system, barring appeals. In the context of American political history, the consequences would be seismic. Trump, convicted of state crimes, could theoretically campaign or even govern from a prison cell, given that the U.S. Constitution does not preclude a convicted individual from holding office. For Trump's political base, an immediate sentence would likely galvanize supporters, potentially framing him as a martyr figure battling against what they see as a biased establishment. Yet, Merchan's choice to enforce the rule of law by sending Trump to prison could simultaneously reinforce public trust in the judicial system, reminding citizens that no one, not even a former president, is above the law. On a broader scale, such a decision would send a shockwave through the national psyche, forcing the American public to confront the tension between legal accountability and political power. The logistical implications would be extraordinary. Trump's security, access to campaign resources, and even basic communications would require unprecedented adjustments. Furthermore, Trump's incarceration would pose complex constitutional questions about his eligibility to serve if elected, setting the stage for significant legal battles in the Supreme Court. The implications for Trump's campaign and public image. Regardless of Merchan's choice, the legal challenges Trump faces will inevitably impact his public image and campaign. A complete dismissal of charges could revitalize Trump's narrative as a persecuted leader, emboldening his followers and framing him as a political underdog fighting against institutional adversity. Conversely, upholding the convictions or sentencing Trump could reinforce the perception among many Americans that Trump's actions warrant accountability, highlighting the ethical and legal contrasts between Trump and other candidates. The ripple effect of Merchan's decision will also extend beyond Trump, affecting the broader landscape of American politics. The next few election cycles may hinge on whether public sentiment sways towards viewing Trump as a martyr or a cautionary example of legal consequences. Political analysts argue that Trump's base is likely to respond with fervor to any punitive measures against him, potentially intensifying partisan divides and creating deeper ideological rifts within the electorate. The broader question of judicial integrity and public trust. As Judge Merchan deliberates, he does so with the knowledge that his decision carries immense weight, not only for Trump but for the judiciary's reputation and public trust. Merchan's ruling will likely be scrutinized by both supporters and critics, each eager to interpret the outcome as a broader statement about the justice system's impartiality. If Merchan is seen as bending to political pressure, public confidence in the judiciary could wane, with future rulings cast in a cloud of skepticism. Conversely, a measured decision that upholds legal principles could strengthen the judiciary's image, offering a beacon of accountability in a time of deep political cynicism. Merchan's choice today will reflect his personal and professional ethos, setting a precedent that will shape future judicial responses to high-profile figures. Whatever path he chooses, the legacy of this case will endure, challenging future judges to balance the rule of law with the unpredictable tides of public opinion. Judge Juan Merchan stands at the brink of a decision that will ripple through American politics and history. His ruling today has the power to either free Trump from legal consequences or to hold him accountable in a manner unseen in U.S. history. The potential outcomes, dismissal, deferred sentencing, or immediate imprisonment, carry distinct and far-reaching implications for Trump's campaign, public trust in the judiciary, and the American democratic fabric. As the nation waits, Judge Merchan's verdict could redefine accountability for those who hold, or have held, the highest offices. If he chooses to impose consequences, Merchan's decision will reinforce the principle that no one is above the law. If he dismisses the charges, he may renew the debate about power, privilege, and accountability. The legacy of today's decision will endure long after the courtroom doors close, reminding America that democracy depends as much on the courage of its legal system as it does on the will of its people.